The purpose of this is we're working with problems where we have to find a part, a whole, or a percent, but we're given a ratio of a part to a whole, and we need to either find the percent, or when we don't know the percent, or we're giving a percent and a part, and then we have to find a whole, or we're giving a part and a percent, we have to find the whole. We're given a whole and a percent, we have to find the part. So we are going to start building some bar models, because bar models, you have to be able to recognize bar models to solve the problems, and bar models may help you solve the problems, not only as if you are visual and the modeling will help you, but it will also help you go to the proportion, building the proportion from a bar model. So what we're going to start with is the concept of the bar model represents a whole. So if I were to fill up this bar model as how much of the whole I have, if I didn't fill any of it, I would have nothing, and if I shaded the whole thing, I would have one whole. So this is how much. If I fill nothing, how much percent do I have? 0%. And if I fill the whole thing, how much percent do I have? 100%. Now we're going to make this. We're going to break this bar model down and make it increasingly more sophisticated, and this will require you to lean back on your knowledge of decimal to percent conversions. Your recognition, your recall of those is just middle school math facts is important. So in the next one, we're going to break this bar model into two. So if we have 0 here, 1 whole here, as a fraction or decimal, what do we have here in the middle? 0.5 or 1 half, and all the other equivalent fractions of 1 half. Can somebody give me one? Raise your hand. Joey? 50. Well, we're not talking percent. I want an equivalent fraction. You will try again. 50 over 100. And there's endless ones, right? Lena, you got another one? Sorry? I could not hear you. 3 over 6, right. Right, if we were breaking it into 6. But in this case, we're really just breaking it into 2. So the most relevant one is 1 over 2. We would have 1 over 2. And going back to Joey, what did you say the percentage was? 50%. Okay. All right. In the next one, we're going to break this bar model into thirds. So we would have 0, 1/3, 2/3, and 3 over 3, or the whole enchilada. Okay. All right. I'm going to raise it up there. All right. So if I had none of it, I would have 0%. If I had the whole, how much would I have? Class? 100%. Okay. Now, this is somewhat of a math fact recall. If I have 1/3, what percent do I have? Raise your hand if you know. Okay, you there with the hair. Go ahead. 33.3 repeated percent. Usually we're pretty good with just 33 and a third percent, or 33.3%, but you're exactly right. That's very good. Okay, what if I had 2/3? What if I had 2/3? Go ahead. 66.6 repeated percent. Okay, we really just doubled our 33 and a 0.3, right? Because we went from 1/3 to 2/3. All right, so in the next bar model, we're going to take our whole and we're going to break it into fourths. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and then 1 whole is equal to 4 over 4. Okay, let me make that 4 better. It looks like a 1. 4 over 4. Okay, again, if I have none of it, I have how much percent? If I have a whole, I have how much percent? Okay, we've already, in this model where we broke it into half, we've already made it what percent? To if we have 2/4, it's the same as 50%, right? The percent doesn't change. Okay, what about a quarter? What about a quarter? Always think about money. If I have a quarter of a dollar, how much percent do I have? Go ahead. 25%. Okay, 2/4 is 50%, or like 50 cents of a dollar. What about 3/4 of a dollar? 3/4 of a dollar. It's just like cents. Go ahead. 75%. Good. Okay. Let's go on to one more. Let's break this one down into your nemesis, the eighths. The eighths. Okay, so if I start with 0 and a hole in between, boy, this is going to challenge my ability to write neat lines. I'm going to do my best. Okay, so I'm going to start with in the middle. How many eighths is that? 4/8. Okay, then I'm going to break these 4/8 into, see, I'll go with like quarters. I'll go like 2/8 here. 2/8. Okay, then here, 1/8. Here, 3/8. Okay, how many eighths is this? Because it's just like 3/4. Anybody? How many eighths would I have right here? Jalen? 6/8. Good. Okay, so how many? So if that's 4/8 and that's 6/8, how many eighths is here? 5/8. Good. And between 6/8 and one hole, how much is one hole? How many eighths is one hole? 8/8. So what's in the middle right there? 7/8. Okay, it's middle school math fact time. Okay, let's take care of the obvious ones. What's 4/8 as a percent? What's 4/8, class? 50%. What about 2/8? What about 2/8? 25%. What about 6/8? 75%. All right, now let's do the fun ones. 1/8. What is 1/8? What is 1/8? Who knows what 1/8 is as a percent? Up there, go for it. Okay, that's the decimal. Very good. Somebody want to jump off of that and do the percent? 125%? No, if I have 125%, I got more than the whole. Okay, next to them. 12.5%. Good. You just moved the decimal over twice. That's all you did. All right, 3/8. 3/8. Anybody remember 3/8? Go for it. Good. 37.5%. Now you're recalling. That's good. Okay, 5/8. 5/8. I'll give you a hint. It's 50% and another eighth. Okay. Go ahead. 62.5%. Good. I'm really trying to write legible and small, and I don't know how well it's coming out. That's a 5 right there. All right. 7/8. 7/8. 7/8. Anybody else? All right, go for it. You master the eighths. 87.5%. What's your trick, man? What's your trick? How do you remember these? You just know? You were just born with that knowledge? Okay. All right. Well, we'll move on. The next one's actually not. The next one's actually going to be a little bit easier to recall. Okay. We're going to go from 0 and 100%, and we're going to do the tenths. And I'm going to try really hard here. All right. So 5/10 is what? 50%. Okay. 1, 2. 3/10 would be about right there. 4/10 would be right there. Sorry, that's not really. Okay, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. Okay, then 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, and 9/10. Okay. All right, so these are pretty simple, right? So let's go real fast. What's 1/10? Class? 10%. Okay, 2/10. Okay, 3/10. 4/10. Okay, we already have 50. What's 6/10? Okay, 7/10. 8/10. 9/10. All right, cool. Y'all did a really good job on that. All right, how are we doing on time? Okay. Do you want? Well, we can stop and go to version 2. Oh, okay. All right. All right, everybody, turn the page. All right, now we're going to set up bar models for. Now we're going to set up bar models with problems we can